Welcome back. I took a break for a few minutes to try and collect my thoughts of really everything that happened in the previous episode. Departing with Rudyard, coming to the refugee camp in the ruins of their old city, meeting Ghislaine, and then also losing both Eris and her. Yeah, Rudy's got a very lonely journey ahead of him. I think the only bright spot is Sylvie wasn't listed among the dead. So, yay. So if you're looking for a heavy dose of depression, wondering what to do with your life further on, how to even get out of bed in the morning, well, we're probably going to see most of that on display now. Unfortunately, it's the protagonist of a show. And if it isn't, and I'm horribly, horribly wrong, and if it isn't, he's grown even further than I thought he could ever be. But unfortunately, how things are going, I don't have much stock in that option. So let's see it. A stream. Some various wildlife. A lifestyle that Eris is actually quite used to at the minute, just out in the wilderness, camping, taking shifts on lookout. But she's steeling herself quite well, putting on this tough exterior. Quite the opposite morning. Blue. People starting their days early, trying to get back to some sort of normalcy. Yeah, they're trying to start up a farm after everything was ravaged to it like it was. Do they have any supplies of food or anything? Everyone's been working so hard with the sweat on their brows, trying to keep their home afloat. It's as I expected. I see. How dare he teach them basic manners? Yes, that's a sign that goes well with this school. Pretty tough for three wank stains that have to pick on someone that obviously cannot stand up against them. How deeply unhappy are they with their own lives? Yes, he's fine. physical injuries might heal, but that's only a minor part of the battle, isn't it? The fact that if this is only just into his affliction, but they were supportive at least. Ah, the food has not been touched. Again, to focus his energies on something else. For the betterment of the people. Even if he's not willing to interact or get to it right now. So any questions about political engagements or whatnot are immediately destroyed. Everyone has been influenced by this. You're wasting your time and efforts trying to help him. So if he's not going to pull his weight, he's out on his ass. Is he going to be a bit tougher, but with a sense of giving him a direction of what to actually do? Well, getting out of bed is the first step. Oh. Another beast. Already making a name for themselves. Such elegant way of putting it, my friend. Oh. I thought it was still on Eris, but no. Good. Dead end. Already out here and not... I wonder if you still say that if you saw him right now. But Rudyard's still making a name for himself, just helping out in small ways, even if they weren't children. Not hiding it in any sense. They have... they're taking it quite well. You're not going to eat my face and use my bones as... I don't know, something. I see, after the battle with the dragon god, she's reflected and that she couldn't do anything in that moment to help out. So next to Rudius, she is falling far behind. Finally! He's a bit getting on in years to be afraid now. But in that moment... Good to know. But in that moment of realising his hands were smaller and yet all the weight on his shoulders there. Yep. I like with shorter hair, but also maybe you should have given him that message. Again with the bubbles. Oh, has time really passed this quickly? His perilous and long journey. Everyone owing what they have to Rudius. And how far they've come and grown. She's practicing as well in her own way. It's the ocean. Who's this third one? I thought it was a new member of their little team, but they're spreading the message of Dead End, despite Rudius himself staying cemented in one place. The effort it takes to get started is harder than the actions he actually needs to take. It's getting that confidence to try. Really? Still out in the middle of everywhere. Yeah, maybe you should check first if people actually have the funds. Have at least like a deposit or something. I see that's squared up nicely. Maybe you should introduce yourself. I don't know if Roxy knows what you can do for her. And yet, you're casting such a regal demeanour, wrapped up in all that rope. The fact that she doesn't believe her in the slightest, but is actually... She was just about to walk off because she was done with this moment. Just helping someone out of... jumping off a moving wagon. It's a start. A lot of them are almost back together. Yeah, about that. Although, missing doesn't mean assuming the worst. Just... if it's him, I'm sure he'll be capable of something. Maybe not in his current state. And the fact that he mentioned the maid, the father, and everyone else... Roxy didn't give her that information. How would you know that there was a maid? Proper positioning and posing for using such an advanced technique of the eye, the labyrinth. And is she going to remember that he's the one she gave the eye to? I know the demon continent is in good hands with her as a potential ruler. Still sleeping off the night. Yeah, what does he... The thing is, Rudy is strong and has put on this front that he can do anything and has the power to do a lot. So people expect great things, and I think that's kind of makes it worse. The inability to trust anyone. And then pushing everyone away. Giving up before he's even began. The actual just showing of crippling depression. Giving up. At all moments. Things aren't even worth trying. That's painful. Are we going to get a glimpse of her? She wasn't paying attention. I mean, a technicality. The best kind of winning. Really? You're not even wiping your feet before coming in? This kind of scene is one we're probably not going to see anytime soon. Of course, Rudy giving the, being the one to taking the responsibility there to wake her. I wonder what kind of words might be used if he's actually does come across her. Hang on, did... Was... Did that... I'm trying to... Was that a memory of hers? Or a sequence of hers? Or his? Or a combination? Did the words and just thinking of his mother's love force his hand forward? Or, in this case, his feet. Could he have taken the steps out of his confinement before what his life would have been? I guess what I was saying in the last episode about ending on some sort of hopeful note, that rings out now. Taking the first steps on another journey. Not fixed, still heavily, heavily flawed, but... As long as he can work past this and continue onwards, it's not just going to be an overnight fix. Ari's fine now, but as long as his struggle continues to make him evolve and grow. Yeah. Who could use chantless magic? How would you know them? I see you've somewhat landed on your feet there. And after being kind of directionless, we don't know where to go from here. Rudy, just wandering out in the snow, having a moment with Sophia, kind of teasing at a future storyline. Ooh, there's something they might want to recruit Rudy if the tales of his achievements are correct. As long as when they come across him, he hasn't completely fallen off the wagon again. But like I said, that strength to get out and try, it's that first hurdle which is the biggest stumbling block. Once you're out there and trying to experience things, there's going to be setbacks, but generally it is your mind being your worst enemy. Constantly thinking of what could be, what could happen, what ifs. Never actually experiencing anything. But the fact that this time he managed it, even with the weight of everything, taking the steps outside, being that, carrying out that course of action which he couldn't before. Even though it's incremental, his growth, we're actually seeing it. It's not like overly heavy-handed, but that duality, seeing both sides of it at the same time. Powerful. For anyone that has experienced those kind of emotions, despair, depression, anxiety, there is no magical panacea. But the world isn't as scary as you think. Find yourselves small little goals. Work towards them. I hope none of us really have to experience anything overly traumatic, but the judge of your character, who you are, your personal strength, even if it's only a little, take each day as you can. Strive for a little bit more, and we'll all be proud of you. And of course, there's plenty more anime. Mushoku Tensei being one of them that really stirs up some questions, some introspection, and has a nice little fantasy story with magic and beastmen and an overexcitable demon lord, demon king, demon ruler. Someone who doesn't pay their bar tab. But with that being the final episode of Mushoku Tensei, the what we leave the series on, so much has happened. We followed so much of his life from birth till 15. Sure, massive time jumps. Not a lot is going to happen when you're learning to crawl, but people are thrust into situations beyond their control all the time. It's the connections you make along the way, even if you don't see it yourself, those that have been affected by you, by your words, your actions. You've achieved a lot more than you realise. Especially little Rudy here. How many people have owed their existence to him? We saw, ultimately there at the end, Sylphiette, Eris, Ghislaine, the beheader prince, can't remember his name at the minute. His entire family. The wannabe adventurers on the demon continent. Even just small, tangential things that he just came across briefly. The Beastman village, the demon village of Roxy's parents. I would say even the merchants that Rudyard saved in this episode were helped because of Rudius. If he hadn't imparted his help, would Rudyard have acted the same? You can really affect people's lives. Just hope it's for a force for good. But like every episode I've seen so far, the animation, the effects, the music. I mean, stylistically, the low light graininess was always something that's a bit. It was like a bit. Not weird, but there's something to it. But it gives it that kind of grounded feeling. It's like an old, rustic type portrait or something. And with Eris now on a journey to find herself, to grow stronger, to be able to do anything, should she come across another one like the Dragon God. With Rudy being this amazing figure in her mind, something that she needs to catch up to. Every journey begins with but a single step. And we're seeing it from all of them. Rudyard, Eris, now Rudy. What will the future hold for each and every one of them? And ultimately, the bigger questions at play. But that's time for a future series, something to think about when that comes to pass. Right now, I need to figure out what I'm doing. Both with my life, and now with anime, considering this show is over. If you want to have some input on that, consider joining onto my Discord. That's generally where I collate a lot of the suggestions I have from people. But right now I'm going to need some rest. The sense of hard-earned hope and purpose that I'm getting from all of this, it couldn't be more suitable. So I hope you've enjoyed and are keeping well and healthy, hydrated and everything else. Watching a lot of anime can be tiring. So if you enjoyed, consider leaving a like on the video. Maybe even subscribing to the channel to see what comes up next. As we say goodbye to one show, got to look towards the future. So I'll see you there. My patrons have given me the support to get up and go, and it's not a lie when I say near the beginning of my channel, I really needed it. So, looking back now, all of you have given me more support than I really deserve. So, to Electric Ant, Noku, Raywin, Kite, Sao, Shiwan, Matt, Skirly, Cardboard, Croyville, Ginterman, Jennifer Rojas, Dark Shadow 7899, Jeremiah Tima, Finesse Kid, and everyone else. You are the first step out of the door for the anxiety that is my channel. And I wouldn't have it any other way.